Hi, my name is Gillian Hyams. I am a solicitor at Gillespie MacAndrew. I work in the private client team, and I'm also a member of the Edinburgh Care Forum.
Hi, my name is Laura Chapman and I run and own Chapmans, a property lettings and management company based in Edinburgh, and I'm also a member of the Edinburgh Care Forum. Hi, Gillian, thank you so much for your time today. I was wondering, could you tell us what actually is a power of attorney?
Of course. So a power of attorney is a document that allows you to appoint the people that you trust the most to look after your finances and to make decisions about your health and welfare if for some reason you're no longer able to make those decisions yourself.
Perfect. We actually have a number of clients, who have power of attorneys in place. And it's one of the things that we always ask our clients, do you have one? Because it can be really useful, can't it, to somebody else to do things on your behalf if you can't do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's right. I think a lot of people know about wills, but I would say less people know about power of attorney. If for some reason you lose capacity to make your own decisions, maybe through accident or illness, there is nobody else who has the legal authority to step into your shoes and do the things that you would normally do for yourself. So having a power of attorney in place is the best way to protect yourself in that situation and make sure that the people that know you the best are able to step into your shoes and do things for you.
So, Gillian, tell me, what's the difference between, is it a financial power of attorney and a welfare power of attorney? Because I know there's different things, aren't there? And there's different things in Scotland and England.
Yeah, so there's two sides to a power of attorney. One side is the financial side, and that's also called the continuing side. And the other side is the welfare side. So the financial side gives powers to your attorneys to make decisions about your finances. It might be things like it'll allow them to access your bank account, it'll allow them to arrange to pay for your care, they could deal with your pensions or manage your investments or deal with your property, that kind of thing. And then on the other side, you have the welfare powers, and that would be powers which allow your attorneys to make decisions about your own health and personal welfare. So a couple of examples would be maybe deciding where you live or what care you receive, maybe consenting to medical treatment on your behalf. So that's the two sides. The financial side is called continuing because once the power of attorney is put in place and it's registered with the Office of the Public Guardian, the financial powers can be used straight away. So sometimes we might have clients who go abroad quite often. So they might say to their attorneys whilst they're away, I'd like you to use the power of attorney to take care of certain things on the financial side. And then it continues on if the person loses capacity. Whereas the health and welfare powers, they only come into play when somebody has lost the capacity to make their own decisions for themselves.
And so when you say capacity, it's they're unable to cognitively to be able to make those decisions for themselves. Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, so capacity means the ability to make decisions, to understand decisions that they're making and the consequences of making them, and to remember the decisions that they're making. Quite often there will be a registered medical practitioner involved who will assess somebody's capacity and to see if they still have the ability to make decisions or not. Capacity is not a black and white thing though, there's many areas of grey. So it might be that you have somebody who's able to make, for example, basic day-to-day financial decisions, but they perhaps would not have the ability to manage their affairs as a whole or deal with more complex financial decisions. So it is worth bearing in mind it is a scale and it's not black and white when it comes to assessing somebody's capacity.
Okay. So you've really got to trust the person that is going to be your power of attorney. I know my husband is actually my welfare and continuing. So we hope he wouldn't choose some strange clothes for me to wear or weird hairstyles, and so I better be nice to him.
I always say to clients that with the power of attorney, the most important thing is that you trust the people that you're appointing. And if you have any concerns over whether that person would do the right thing by you, then you shouldn't appoint them. It's also worth bearing in mind that you might have somebody who you think they would be great on the welfare side. They know me really well. I trust them to make those kind of decisions, but maybe they're not the best at dealing with the financial side of things, and you might have somebody else who's more appropriate. So it's just worth knowing that you can appoint different people to be your welfare and your financial attorneys at the same time, and that's perfectly okay to do that as well. But there is a degree of them needing to get on and discuss things, so it's good to make sure all of your attorneys can work together.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes in the lettings business, our clients will have just the continuing power of attorney, and it's usually just something to do with property, whether they're abroad or they need to get their mortgages sort of signed for, but they're not physically here to sign things, and it can just be really, really helpful. But yes, I can see how important it'd be that you need to have a joined up approach and both sides communicate with each other if there are two different people. So Gillian, tell me, when is it the best time to put a power of attorney in place?
So there's a bit of a sort of misconception. A lot of the time people associate powers of attorney with things like dementia, and they think that I only need to get a power of attorney if I am, maybe diagnosed with an illness. But actually, the best time to put a power of attorney in place is when you're fit and healthy, and you have the ability to understand what you're doing and the consequences of putting the document in place. It's a bit like an insurance policy in the hope that you put it in place, you hope that it's never needed, but if for some reason you do lose the ability to make your own decisions, it means that your attorneys are able to use it and make decisions for you without any legal barrier to that. Sometimes, unfortunately, we do have people who come in to see us and they are looking to put a power of attorney in place, but they might have left it too late, and perhaps they are suffering from something like dementia, and they're no longer able to understand the power of attorney, and therefore we're not able to put it in place. Every power of attorney has a certificate at the back of it, which has to be signed off by a solicitor, an advocate, or a registered medical practitioner, and they have to say that they have spoken to the person granting the power of attorney, and that they're satisfied that the person fully understands what they are signing. So if people do leave it too late, sometimes we're not able to put the power of attorney in place. So that's why it's best not to put it off. Put it in place, when you're fit and healthy, and then it's there just in case it's needed.
Absolutely. And also at a time when you're not stressed, and you've got time to really think through what you're doing and why you're doing it, and not doing it in a panic and an emergency.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So Gillian, why is it important to have a power of attorney?
So a lot of people would think if something happens to me and I'm not able to make my own decisions, it's fine because, my husband or my wife or my children, whoever their next of kin is, they just think they'll be able to step in and do things for them. But actually, no other person has legal authority to make decisions for you unless you give them that power. And if you have a situation, which does unfortunately happen sometimes, where somebody has lost the ability to make their own decisions, maybe through accident or through illness, if they've not got a power of attorney in place, then their family around them are not able to make decisions for them. When that happens, what normally has to happen is somebody from the family or a friend has to apply to the local sheriff court to be appointed as a guardian to the person who's lost capacity. That process is a very lengthy process. In Edinburgh, it takes around a year from start to finish. And in the meantime, nobody else can do anything for that person. So they're kind of stuck in the situation they're in. It can also, depending on how it works, it can be quite a costly application, and it's certainly very stressful for the family involved. It's a lot more cumbersome and difficult compared to the person putting a power of attorney in place, which is a straightforward process and can be done in a very short period of time. So that's why it's important to have a power of attorney. None of us know what's around the corner, so it's best just to plan for it just in case, and that way, if something does happen, your family or the people that know you the best are able to help you.
Perfect. And it just takes a huge amount of stress out of what would already be a really stressful time if you've already got it in place.
Yeah, exactly.
Gillian, thanks so much for that. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you today.
Thanks, Laura.